sentenced by the parties, but watching you sit there, smile, laugh, and shake your head like this was no big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there. That's what I'm tempted to do.
Armed robbery, count 3, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, count 6, the felony firearm, and an added count 7 of murder in the second degree under PAC code 750.317.
Anta Wright was 17 years old when he became involved in the robbery that led to the death of 18-year-old Jordan Klee in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
That is a felony punishable by life or any term of years. In exchange for that plea at the time of sentencing, the people moved to dismiss counts 1, 4.
According to prosecutors, Wright and another teenager planned to rob Klee after arranging to meet him through a marijuana-related transaction. During the encounter, Klee was shot and killed.
There is a sentence agreement in this case. The sentence agreement is that on counts 2, 3, and 7, the defendant will serve 23 to 50 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections.
The case quickly became one of the most closely followed murder prosecutions in the area because of the age of those involved and the circumstances surrounding the killing.
Those 3 counts will run concurrent to each other. However, counts 2, 3, and 7 will all be consecutive to count 6, which requires mandatory.
Investigators determined that the meeting had been arranged before the robbery took place and that Klee was targeted during the encounter.
2 years on a felony firearm. Furthermore, we have discussed the resolution that we will not be, as part of this plea agreement, the people will not be charging this defendant for his involvement in the Keandre Duff homicide.
Prosecutors charged Wright in connection with the killing, and he eventually entered into a plea agreement.
He has put on the record the terms of the sentence agreement that pursuant to your agreement to dismiss the other counts and not charge you in the Keandre Duff.
Under that agreement, he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and felony firearm charges.
Homicide case, you would agree to serve 23 to 50 years in Michigan Department of Corrections plus 2 on the felony firearm. How do you want to plead to counts 2, 3, 6, and 7?
The plea allowed him to avoid the possibility of being tried for more serious charges that could have exposed him to even harsher penalties.
I'm pleading guilty.
On the morning of October 4th, 2016, did you agree and conspire with 2 other individuals, Delrino Gracie and Jamarius Ellison, to commit an armed robbery?
Yeah.
As the case moved to sentencing, Jordan Klee's family appeared in court to explain the impact of his death.
And who are you going to rob?
Jordan Klee.
Jordan Klee. And that afternoon, did you in fact rob Jordan Klee?
Yeah.
Victim impact statements are a formal part of the sentencing process and allow relatives to describe how a crime has affected their lives.
I no longer have the hope of having grandchildren. I've lost the enjoyment of holidays and birthdays and of everyday life.
During the hearing, family members spoke about losing a son, brother, and loved one whose life ended at just 18 years old.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon, I love my family.
That's all you got to say.
Yes.
Multiple reports from the sentencing described Wright smiling and laughing while members of the victim's family addressed the court.
But watching you sit there, smile, laugh, and shake your head like this was no big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial.
The conduct immediately drew attention from Judge David Swartz. Now stick around and hit subscribe, because this case is about to take a turn nobody saw coming.
And if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there.
Rather than allowing the hearing to continue without comment, the judge stopped the proceedings and directly addressed Wright's actions. Even Wright's own mother didn't show any remorse on this.
What do you think about his reaction during the statements that were made in the court that the judge seemed to be
upset about?
Yeah, tell me what you think.
Court records and news reports described the judge as visibly angered by what he was seeing during the victim impact statements.
What upsetted me was I'm sorry for her loss, just as well as mine. My son was supposed to graduate this year too.
Although prosecutors and defense attorneys had negotiated the agreement, the judge retained authority over whether to accept it.
The pre-sentence report indicates that my client made a statement to the probation officer who prepared the report, indicating that it was never his intention to injure.
The warning dramatically changed the direction of the hearing. Up until that point, Wright had been expecting to be sentenced under the negotiated agreement.
Your Honor, my client, the only thing I would say, Your Honor, is that if the court is intending to follow the plea agreement, then I don't really have anything for my client wants to address the court, but I don't.
Well, of course.
If the judge rejected the deal, the case could return to the trial process, exposing Wright to significantly greater legal risk.
It's just bad all the way around. So that's just how I feel.
Do you think he took this lightly? Do you think he took this seriously? How do you think he...
I don't feel like he understands exactly what's going on.
The judge indicated that Wright's behavior was causing him to question whether the plea agreement should remain in place.
You won't get the luxury of raising your child because you took mine away. So because for the first time in my life, I feel hate in my heart, here is what I hope.
For Jordan Klee's family, the hearing was supposed to be an opportunity to address the court before sentencing.
I hope that every time you want for a meal, you go hungry. And hope that every time you want for a bed, you have a sleepless night. I hope that every time you wish for your mother, she doesn't come for a visit.
The victim's family was then faced with an important decision, and the family members ultimately indicated that they wanted the plea agreement to remain in place. A trial would have required them to relive the details of the case and endure additional court proceedings.
Smiling does not have nothing to do with slack of what.
That's just how he handles everything.
That's how he handles everything.
After further discussion, the plea agreement remained intact, and the sentencing process continued.
And did you use a gun to place him in fear in order to take his property?
Yeah.
And as a result of that armed robbery.
The final sentence reflected the seriousness of the crime. Wright received a prison sentence of 23 to 50 years for second-degree murder.
What did you do with that gun and Mr. Jordan Klee?
Shot him.
And where did you shoot him?
On the top. My head.
And did you kill him with that shot?
Yes.
People are satisfied now.
His punishment ensured that he would spend decades in prison for his role in Jordan Klee's death.
But more than anything, because we and I am nothing like you. I don't wish or hope any of that upon you.
The sentencing hearing remains notable because of how close Wright came to jeopardizing the agreement that limited his exposure to even harsher penalties.
I simply wish that you go to prison for the maximum time your plea agreement allows, that you become something more than what you were taught to be in your miserable life, and that your child gets brought up far away from the life you led.
Wright ultimately left the courtroom with a sentence of 23 to 50 years in prison for second-degree murder.
This is the wish of the victim's family, the wishes of the prosecutor, and the bargain for sentence between all the parties.
Plus, an additional 2 years for the firearm offense, ensuring that the consequences of the killing would follow him for decades.